Hey everyone, welcome to a special edition of NeU-Wizards. This is NeU-Wizards, War of the Spark edition. Today I'll talk about the blue wizards coming in the new set. But first I want to start with a special mention. And it's Kasmina, Enigmatic Mentor. Kasmina is not a wizard, but she's an uncommon blue planeswalker with a mana cost of 3 generic and 1 blue mana. She enters the battlefield with 5 loyalty counters, and she has 2 abilities. The first one is a static ability. It reads, spells your opponents cast that target a creature or planeswalker you control, cost 2 more to cast. And her only loyalty ability is a -2, and reads, create a 2/2 blue wizard creature token, draw a card, then discard a card. So yeah, she's not a wizard, but she creates wizard tokens. I personally really like Kasmina. The protection ability stops your opponent from gaining tempo by killing her with a chip removal spell, and as soon as she resolves, you get to create a creature that can help you defend Kasmina, and you get to loot on top of it. Kasmina is pretty good, in my opinion. So if she doesn't die, getting 2 2/2s and looting twice is a pretty good deal for 4 mana, and then your opponent also needs to deal with her, or live with the static ability while she's in play. The tokens are not great on their own, but can be pretty useful in controlling a Sami build, which is where I would play Kasmina, protecting all your wizards and giving you more wizards to draw cards. If you can somehow also proliferate, then the value you get from Kasmina is really high. So yeah, Kasmina is totally a card I could play in a controlling deck that has use for the wizard tokens, or maybe in some budget Super Friends deck that can proliferate her or even blink her. Now the rest of the wizards I'll present in order, from the one I like the least to the one I like the most. So the first place is Eternal Skylord. Eternal Skylord is a 3/3 zombie wizard for 4 and a blue, with when Eternal Skylord enters the battlefield, amass 2, and zombie tokens to control gain flying. Eternal Skylord seems like a pretty cool card for limited. You get 5 total power split into 2 creatures, and one of them flies, and it only costs 5 mana. It seems particularly useful in a deck with a lot of amass, letting you build a huge flying army token to close the game. He doesn't seem great outside of limited though, as I doubt we'll get an amass deck in standard. And the flying ability is pretty niche. Zombie wizards are always cool though. Now for number 3, Erratic Visionary. Erratic Visionary is a 1/3 human wizard for 1 and a blue. It has the ability, pay 1 and a blue, draw a card, then discard a card. Erratic Visionary is one of many blue cards for 2 that can repeatedly loot. Many of them are wizards too. On one hand, you have things like Thought Courier or Jace Prince Prodigy, with the same mana cost, worse stats, but they loot for free. Jace also has the ability to turn into a planeswalker later in the game, which is pretty cool. And on the other hand, you have Seeker of Insight and Research Assistant, with the same stats, but a slight difference in their ability. Research Assistant is much worse than Erratic Visionary, as it is basically the same, but its ability costs 4 instead of 2 to activate. Seeker of Insight is just different, as it has no mana cost, but you have to have cast a non-creature spell this turn to activate its ability, so it only works in certain decks. All in all, I really like cheap looters like this one, and I like that he can block pretty well in the early game too. But most of the time, I'd rather have the free loot, as losing tempo looking for what you need or filling your graveyard can hurt a lot. For number 2, I have Jace's Projection, from the Jace Planeswalker deck. Jace's Projection is a 2/2 Wizard Illusion for 2 and 2 blue. It has, whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Jace's Projection, and for 3 and a blue, put a loyalty counter on target Jace Planeswalker. Jace's Projection is a fun threat for tempo decks, dropping it late, leaving mana up for protection, and then you just start drawing cards and attacking until your opponent dies. It's not as great as something like Chump Skulker for this, but it's still nice. Its second ability is a lot less useful, but it's some nice added value I guess. And for number 1, we have Flux Channeler. Flux Channeler is a 2/2 human wizard for 2 and a blue. It has, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, proliferate. Flux Channeler has potential in 2 different types of decks in my opinion. The first one is Planeswalker's Control, using Flux Generator as a pump in the late game, where you cast it followed by 2 or 3 cheap spells, giving your Planeswalkers a boost, and potentially allowing you to use some game-winning abilities. The other deck I could see it played is in some kind of Storm deck, played alongside cards like Planted Prism or Crystalline Crawler, to generate mana each time you cast a spell, allowing you to dig through your deck without using any mana, or maybe even adding mana with things like Deduction Probe or Manamorphose. All of these to end with a powerful storm spell like Empty the Warrens or Chandrils of Agony. So those are all new Mono Blue Wizards released this set. Next week I'll go back to talk about all wizards. The next one is Valduvian Conjurer. Should be fun.